So I want to share the kitchen decluttering today. We're in the kitchen and you can see that it is a veritable dumping ground. Every day starts off with tons of bedding to wash. There's always laundry. There's always washing up. This is quite a vulnerable thing to share because it just makes you feel ashamed if you haven't got homes for things. I've got extra furniture, I've just been shopping, look, I haven't put the dog food away yet, my coat's dumped there, Tinny's in the middle of an art project that is there. There's toys around as well, but the problem I have, not only too much laundry and not enough time, but you can see, look, in here there's paint pots for the garden, there's hot water bottles, there's dog treats. I don't really have a home for things. Look, there's art supplies, there's incense, there's letters dumped, and it's a combination of I want to do too much, I want to paint things, I want to do garden work, I want art resources around me, I want witchy things around me, but I don't have enough time and I don't have enough space. And although generally in these cupboards I could kind of generally tell you what was in the cupboards and on the shelves and where the cookbooks are, there's also a lot of things that I have to go searching for every time. I can tell you that this is the snack cupboard, and I can tell you this is where I keep Tupperware and lunch boxes and cleaning cloths and crisps at the bottom. So I kind of can tell you where things are, but at the end of the day there's a lot of stuff rammed in. This cupboard in the corner as well, I mean, look at this, there's just spare food rammed in here, and I've no idea what's in the very darkest corners. And as we all know, if you saw my last decluttering video, there was actually a mouse living at the back of these cleaning supplies, which I discovered mid-decluttering. So it's time. I mean, look, that I found at the back of this cupboard a bottle of whiskey that, look at the filth on the bottom of that. My ex-husband used to drink that. I don't even drink, and he's been gone for years. So it's time. It's time to go through these party platter bowls and the big mixing bowls and to decide, what do I actually use? What do I need? What needs to go in the bin? What can go to the charity shop? And look how many big plastic bowls I've got for parties, and like Father Christmas plates. I don't use all of them. Little plastic bowls that I used to use camping. That coffee percolator that I've just picked up didn't even have a top to it. There are cracked plates, there are old tins and lunch boxes that the kids no longer want. So I don't need all of this stuff. No wonder I don't know what is in the back of the cupboard. So I'm going to sort out the minimum of what I can get away with in the cupboard, and we are going to bag up the rest. Do you like the fact that I started decluttering amidst trying to cook soup? Look, I'm trying to do it around a pile of vegetables out. The urge just took me, so I went with it. So all of this stuff I still want to keep. But look at all of this. This is all for the charity shop or for the bin. All the extras that I don't need. And when I put it back in the cupboard, it just made sense. It fitted. I could see what I'd got. I'd got my trays and my mixing bowl in there as well, like my Kenwood Chef mixer went in. And now the dreaded Tupperware. So this is stored in the pull-out larder. This is make a boiled egg look like a chicken mould, which I was given for a Christmas present off a lovely friend. I'm never going to use that. I do sometimes use the lemon squeezer, so I'm going to keep that. And so much of this Tupperware I either don't use anymore or they don't have lids, and I'm just getting rid of it. All those tiny little purple lidded boxes are when I used to train and I used to put all my daily vitamins in them. So look, this is all I'm keeping. Empty shelves in there. Who would know just so better. And this is only the first pass through. I've decluttered all of this again since. I got rid of a load of cleaning cloths as well. I just don't need them all. It was just literally brimming over with things. And you would think by looking at this rammed in shelf with vitamins and incense with cooking books that I'm a real cook, but I am not a cook. I don't really cook at all. I don't think I want to keep any cake books, I just don't. But this is a beautiful vegan book. I'm going to keep that for now. I've decided with all of these cookbooks that the ones that I keep, if I haven't used them in the next 12 months, I'm going to get rid of them. Me and Poppy used to be vegan. We were vegan for about 1.5 years. We eat vegetarian now in the house, but I've got 2 vegetarians, me and Poppy, 2 meat eaters, although Busby's more vegetarian these days. There's paleo books from when I was doing weight training, but a lot of those are meat recipes, so I think those might need to go. That's a nice book, but it's rammed with old receipts. My goodness me. That is a nice book. I'm going to keep that and that one. The cake book can go. I'm trying to cut out sugar. This herbalism book, although I thought that would be good for my witchcraft practice, I never look at it. I'm going to take that to the charity shop. This is a nice book. I'm going to hold on to that one. And that one, paleo vegetarian, that one might be really useful. Now, all of these vegan magazines were given to me by a mum at Tilly's school, and they've actually been really useful, but I don't need all of them there. I've got too many. I'm going to keep the ones that I've actually used, and I am going to give the rest to the charity shop. Just pare it down, and again, if they're not used in 12 months, I'm going to get rid of them. So look at all of this to go to the charity shop. These vitamins, they've been in there for years. I'm just going to get rid of them. And those lentils, I've no idea how long they have been left. So I'm going to clean those jars out. And look at that. That is just so much better. So much space already. And in there, look at that. Massively different already. Now, the under sink cupboard. This is where I discovered a mouse at the back. I caught a mouse about 6 months previously. I caught it running across the kitchen floor, and I caught it in a humane trap and took it to the woods. But when I pulled this cupboard out, all the dusters had been chewed up at the back of the cleaning supplies and turned into a mouse bed. So I've either got a mouse still in here, or this is the mouse that I caught 6 months before in that humane trap. I have to say it's a humane trap. So this grossed me out massively. I got all the cleaning things out and realised I've got multiple of some things. Like, look at all the shake and vacs I've got. I thought I was out of shake and vacs too. So many sponges. Anything that was open though with a mouse in there, I'm binning. And I actually spent ages bleach washing all of the cleaning supplies because I had visions of a mouse like weeing on it all. So yeah, this grossed me out. I decanted bottles where I found I'd got multiples. I literally can't believe I thought I was nearly out of shake and vac when there were like 4 or 5 tubs of the stuff in there. This is me like bleach watering. I've got boiling hot bleach water in that bowl, washing everything down. How ironic that the cleaning supply cupboard was so rammed that there was a mouse in there. And I don't really class myself as a hoarder, but somebody who's super clean would be watching this, I'm sure, in complete horror, thinking, you don't think you're a hoarder? It's amazing how quickly this sort of mess can creep up on you. I mean, look, the 5 or 6 bottles of that stuff. Yes, I got rid of anything that I was too grossed out about. I pared everything down. I decanted where I could. I gave everything a massive clean. I've got gardening stuff in the cupboard as well. Look how different that is. Massively different. Now, did I get the mouse come back? For 2 weeks, no. And then I suddenly noticed mouse droppings again. And there was actually another mouse that we humanely caught and we released. And there's been nothing since. Okay, so I'm going to tackle some of the wall cupboards now. So this one's got oils and rice and pasta in. In this top corner one, there's medicines. There's a lot of medicines for Tilly. There's sort of condiments and gravies in there. So I'm just going to lay out on the counter what I've got. So look how much pasta I've got. I found a lot of pasta at the very back of this cupboard. Look how dark it is at the back. So I've laid out all the pastas, all the rices. I've found old paper plates I don't want anymore. There's so much spaghetti. It was amazing how much food was in the dark recesses of that corner cupboard. There's a bottle of oil that I've been meaning to take back because the lid's broken and I can't open it. I'm just going to bin it because I'm not getting back to the shops with it. There's way more rice and pasta than I even thought I'd got. I thought I was out of olive oil and I found 3 bottles. So these are still quite rammed now, these cupboards, because I've got a lot of stuff and food that I didn't know I'd got. I'm going to sort out this medicine cupboard now. I've got loads and loads of medicines that need a sort through. I bet there's so much stuff out of date. Here are bits of food mixed in with the medicines. Vitamins are so out of date. I've had to bin so much stuff, it's ridiculous. So here I am just checking dates on everything. There's matches in there, oh gosh, there's just so much stuff. There's COVID tests from school. Look, I've got it down to just that one box. This is all the stuff to bin, all out of date. Vitamins, out of date gravy. There's empty boxes of COVID tests. Those 2 things have never been used. Those can go to the charity shop. Yeah, look, so the medicines are all up on the top shelf. All the spare pasta that's still in date, I've just shoved in there for now. So still pretty full in there. There's Tilly's medicines that we need daily that's just easy to get to there. Look, there's the oil and the vinegar and the main pasta and rice cupboard. So I've just got these cupboards now to tackle. And then the shelves either side of the window, I've given those a little bit of a declutter. First pass through. Garden's looking miserable, look at that. Right, the baking cupboard. Let's have a look and see what's in here. And then there's coffee mugs and tea and coffee making things and condiments there. Let's sort this out. I've got baking trays and the tail end of tinned food in there. Tins, where to put tins, right. Just going to get everything out and down on the side. Now, I'm about a week into the kitchen declutter at this point. A lot of these videos, it was like a cupboard at a time filmed. Again, I'm going through, finding out of date things. It's unbelievable how much out of date food I had. These salt and pepper grinders, I bought when I was not even married. They were so expensive, they were like £50. And I've got them, and yet I'm using cheap, like £2 plastic ones. So I'm going to get these back out and cleaned and back in action. Again, checking for dates. So this was all out of date and disgusting, just horrible. Salt and pepper Christmas shakers, I don't use them, so they go into the charity shop. This is what I'm keeping. and that's it put back in. Everything's got its own little home. And now the baking supplies. Let's do the baking cupboard. Now the funniest thing is, I thought I was out of tea bags. Look at all the tea bags I found. Look, boxes and boxes and jars of tea bags. I thought I was out of tea bags. There's so much baking stuff. It goes all the way around the kitchen. There's dog things in there as well, like their flea tablets and powders, all mixed in with it. Yeah, just so much stuff. All out of that cupboard and that cupboard. Little things that were hanging on the handles. So I'm checking this tea. Some of the tea is out of date. I'm not a tea drinker, I'm a coffee drinker. But I'm going to keep everything that is in date. I'm going to decant some into this airtight jar. Eventually, when I've used it all up, I'll just have the jar with tea bags in. Fruit teas and green teas and selenium teas, and I'm on a health kick, but I hate them all. I like mint tea, I'll keep the mint tea. Look at this lemon juice, it was so gross. There's sauce powders that are out of date. A beautiful mug that Poppy bought me, which I love. I'm going to go through my mugs here. Do I need them all? Some of them are broken, some of them are cracked, some of them I don't need. So, baking stuff that I do want to keep. Dog stuff that needs another home. And then there's all things that I don't want to keep. There's a few things up here for the charity shop. That's for the charity shop. Busby's mug that he made in school. It's actually, the handle's broken on it. So what I'm going to do with that, I'm going to take a photograph of it and then get rid of the mug. Sentimental, see, it's hard when it's sentimental. But look at these cupboards now. Isn't that just so much better? I can see what baking stuff I've got in. I've got multiples of sugar and flour, which I didn't realise. Again, multiples I don't know. So it's quite full at the minute, the cupboard, but it should get better. Right, now the dark cupboard on the floor in the corner. It's got baking trays, cooking supplies, food in the back. Who knew? Who even knew? Look at all of this that came out of the cupboard. So many sauces. Look how many sauce jars there were in the back. But you can see how dark it is in the corners. You can't see what's being shoved in there. So some of these baking trays are rusty. I'm going to get rid of some of them. Some I use all the time. It's a butterfly cake mould that we don't really use anymore. More cake moulds that we do use. See, Poppy loves baking cakes. That's why I've got so much cake making equipment. So you can see cupboards before and after now. So that's before. That's the baking cupboard before. That's after. This was the mug cupboard before and after. There's Busby's mug that I took a picture of and then threw it away. And over on this side of the kitchen, you can see I've got yet more laundry hanging up. Another day, another load of laundry. And I've got things that I found, like art supplies and hot water bottles. I just don't have a home for them. I just don't know where to put this stuff at the moment. This display unit as well, there's seeds and look, all the paint pots I pulled out of the big cupboard. And they were all in here. Look, using up all of these really useful shelves. But now all that extra food and all the tinned food I've now put in here. So there's mugs and glasses at the top and wine glasses. So all the glasses, not mugs. And then the tins are underneath. So it's so nice to have a proper designated tin cupboard. This is more stuff for the charity shop. Washing powder. Hopefully I can get that in the cleaning cupboard supply. use these 2 cupboards for all the dog food, so that's all away now and has a home. Because I cleaned the cleaning cupboard, I've now got room for washing powder in there. Again, multiples, which I didn't realise I'd got. See all the multiples of everything. So as I get through the multiples, there'll be more space back in these cupboards again, which will be nice. I've got bunting for the garden that I need to iron. I think I am going to get rid of that bowl. Now that's household stuff. I know where to put that. That's in the wrong place. There's rubbish and more stuff that needs to go back away in the studio. All of this is stuff for the studio. And there's a canvas board under there that needs to go back in the studio. Hot water bottles and old cards. Oh, this card was a card that Tilly got her class to sign for me for my birthday. I love that card. Hot water bottles, need to find a home for those. Art projects, need to find a home for this. It can't stay out any longer. So I'm going to keep the swan fruit bowl, but I am going to take this one to the charity shop. I don't need 2 fruit bowls. I'm going to get rid of my broomstick as well that was in the kitchen. Look at that. That looks a bit better already, doesn't it? I've put jars out as well. The seeds that were there have gone in the top of this cupboard. So I know where they live now. So much better. I've still got all my pop vinyls out though. I love those. And more here, on top of a piece of artwork of mine. Yeah, it's looking so much better, but now I've got to find somewhere for all this paint. And even the side of the fridge, it's visual clutter. So finally, after 3-4 weeks of tidying, this is the result. Less visual clutter, empty cupboards, easier to clean, so much easier to clean, I can't even tell you. Like, space for everything. It has been really transforming having homes for stuff, and as I've continued to declutter over the month, I've got more and more focused on, if it hasn't got a home and I can't find a home for it, it's clutter and it's got to go. So the dog biscuits and the dog bowls are there now with a bit of lace over them. But it's so lovely. Look, all the tins are in here, so that worked. Tins and jars and sauces are in there. Washing machine's on. I even got rid of the calendar and put a piece of Busby's artwork that I didn't have a home for up on the wall, and I just love it. How much better does this look? And the cupboards are just getting emptier and emptier as we go and as we use things up. Look, I now keep the bowl under there because I don't like the red bowl out in the sink. I like it to be clear. But this cupboard's getting emptier as, like I said, as we use the things up. The shelves are just lovely having them empty. I love it. And now if something gets left out, I know immediately where to put it. And it stands out like a sore thumb now if it's left out, because the room is so much emptier without the visual clutter. Like even the surfaces, you know, I've like the toaster's away. I don't keep the coffee pot out. The coffee pot goes in this cupboard. And look, it's just been so easy to keep organised and tidy. So the toaster, I put the toaster on a tray so it's easy to pull in and out, and it just goes in the bottom of that cupboard now, because there's a whole shelf that was empty in that cupboard. The Tupperware cupboard has remained tidy too, and It's not finished yet. This is the first pass through, but I am loving it. So that's it, guys, the kitchen declutter of January.